Student, this is class 7th, subject social science, geography, chapter 4 and part 2. Students, in this chapter, we will read about agents, factors that changes the landforms. Okay. In first part, I taught you action of running water. Now, action of moving ice. How moving ice is responsible to change the landforms. Student, a large amount of ice may accumulate in a region of cold climate as a result of snowfall over a long period. This mass of ice may start moving from higher ground towards lower areas. A large mass of moving ice is called a glacier. In another word, you can say a glacier is a river of snow and ice that moves out very slowly from the snow field. In this figure you can see a glacier, a large mass of moving ice, that is called glacier. Now glacier may move at the rate of only few meters a day, yet they are powerful agents of erosion. Like rivers, glaciers break and carry away rock fragments. They also curve their own valleys. The heavy ice equipped with rocks erodes both the sides and the bottom of the valley. So the valley of a glacier is U-shaped with a flat bottom and steep sides. When the glaciers melt, water fills up the deeper parts of the valley formed glacier lakes. Student, the main work of a glacier is transportation, erosion and deposition. Okay. Now, U-shaped valley. What is U-shaped valley, student? When a glacier passes through a valley, the floor and sides of the valley are eroded by the rock pieces present in the glacier. Thus, the floor becomes flat and sides become steep. This type of valley is called U-shaped valley. And students, when the ice melts, they get filled up with water and whatever deep hollows are there, they get filled up with water and become beautiful lakes in the mountains, that is called glacial lakes. Now then, moraine. Moraine means hill-like structure formed by a glacier. Okay. When a glacier melts, the rock fragments carried by it are deposited. Deposition is heavy at the sides of glacier, and where the glacier ends, a pile of rocks deposited by a glacier is called moraines. Students, the material carried by the glacier, such as rocks, big and small, sand and silt, gets deposited, and these deposits form moraines, or you can say glacial moraines. Now, then, action of wind. How wind is responsible to change the landforms. What is the role of wind? Wind, too, like ice and water, erodes, transports and deposits rock materials while going over land. It lifts and carries fine soil, sand, etc. When the wind slows down, it can no longer carry its entire load and deposits some of the material it carries. Students, wind action is the most common in deserts. Wind also works like ice and water. It erodes, transports and deposits rock materials. It is the most effective agent of erosion in the desert, where it blows freely because of the absence of vegetation. As you know, there is less vegetation in the desert area. So a large amount of sand, dust particles and gravel means pebbles, are carried with strong winds which erode the rocks. Wind blown depressions. The blowing away of soil often creates depressions in arid and semi-arid regions. Arid means dry, and semi-arid regions. When such a depression becomes deep enough to reach the surface of groundwater, an oasis is formed. Oasis is in desert wherever underground water is found. Students, sometimes blowing away of soil rocks that creates pits in a desert area. When such a depression or pit becomes deep enough to reach the surface of groundwater, means there is underground water, then an oasis is formed. Oasis is a fertile area, you can say. There is you can see water, some vegetation in desert. The Siwa depression in the Egyptian desert is an example of an oasis. Now mushroom rock. Winds carry heavier rock fragments at a lower level. So when wind hits a mass of rock, it tends to erode the lower part of rock. More than you can see in this figure, student, this is a mushroom rock. Mushroom rocks. Okay, what is mushroom rock, student? The wind erodes the lower part of the rocks more than the upper part. You can see in this picture also, wind erodes the lower part of the rocks more than the upper part. This gives the rock a shape resembling a mushroom. That's why this type of rocks are called mushroom rocks. And students, such rocks have narrower base and wider top. Now students, sand dunes. Students, when the wind blows, it lifts and transports sand from one place to another. When it stops blowing, the sand falls and gets deposited in low hill-like structures. So these are called sand dunes. In this figure you can see here sand dunes. The most common type of sand dune is the crescent-shaped dune or barkhan. It is also called barkhan. The two horns of the crescent project in the direction of the wind. You can see in this picture also, two horn-like structure is there. It is in the direction of wind. Wind direction it is. Now loess. Student, in this picture you can see the leeward slope is steep. It is leeward slope. This is steep, and windward slope is gentle. Sand dunes are mostly formed in groups. Now loess. Sometimes winds carry fine dust particles and soils and deposit them in distant regions. Gradually, the deposits grow to form a thick layer of soil. Such deposits are called loess. The thickest loess deposits are found in northern China. When the grains of sand are very fine and light, the wind can carry it over very long distances. When such sand is deposited in large areas, that is called loess. And large deposits of loess is found in northern China. Now action of waves. How sea waves is responsible to change a landform. Now action of waves. The erosion and the deposition of the sea waves gives rise to coastal landforms. Okay, sea waves continuously strike at the rocks, cracks develops. Currents, tides and storms also help in it. Even hard rocks are broken down by the sea waves colliding in the coast, and rock material is carried away by receding waves. And this rocks material present in seawater causes the erosion of landforms against which it crashes. So this is known as marine deposition or marine erosion. Okay, now sea cliff. So by picture, by figure you can understand very well, student. See here, sea cliff. What is sea cliff? Students, Sea cliffs are formed when waves crash against a high rocky coast. High rocky coast near the base. The rocks are eroded near the base. With the passage of time, the rocks above the hollowed out part collapse. It leaves behind a steep wall of rock facing the sea. These are known as sea cliffs. As in sea caves, arches and stacks. First, we will know about sea caves. What is sea caves? Student, in this figure you can see sea cave. Sea cave. Student, sea waves. When sea waves strike at the rocks, cracks develop. Over time, they become larger and wider, and the hollow-like caves are formed on the rocks. They are called sea caves. You can see here also hollow-like caves are formed on the rocks. That is called sea cave. Okay. Now next, arches. What is arches? Student, in figure it is given arc. Students, when a sea cave gradually grows larger as erosion continues, upside it grows larger as erosion continues, and when a cave formed in a headland is thus enlarged, and this passage is called sea arc. Sea arc. And last, erosion breaks the roof of headland, and only walls are left. These wall-like features are called stacks. These wall-like structures are called stacks. Okay. And when the height of a stack is greatly reduced, gradually it is reduced, height of a stack, then it is called a stump. In figure you can see these are the landforms created by marine erosion, created by action of waves. Arc, sea cave, stack, stump. Now beaches. Seawater contains sediments like sand, pebbles, etc. These sediments include materials brought by rivers and materials produced by marine erosion. The sediments present in seawater are deposited at some place along the coast. These deposits keep growing and finally form a beach. There are many fine beaches along the coast of India. Students, the sea waves deposit sediments along the shores, forming beaches. Whatever sediments, silt, pebbles that is carried by sea waves and deposited along the coast of India, that is called beaches. Okay. Now lagoons. Some of the sediments present in seawater are deposited on the seabed near the coast. These deposits pile up and rise above the seawater, sometimes cutting off a part of the sea from the main body of water. Thus a saltwater lake called a lagoon is formed. A lagoon is usually connected to the sea by a narrow outlet. There are many lagoons along the coast of India, particularly Kerala. The Chilka Lake in Odisha is the largest lagoon in India. In picture also you can see lagoon. What is lagoon, student? When some of the sediment present in seawater deposited near the seabed, it is deposition of by the seawater, and when these deposits pile up and rise up above the seawater, and sometimes cutting off a part of the sea You can see here, and it is connected to the sea by a narrow outlet. It is narrow outlet connected to the sea. Okay, this is called lagoon, saltwater lake, also called saltwater lake or lagoon. Okay, now soil formation. Of all the work done by the agents of weathering and erosion, perhaps the most important for us is the formation of soil. We depend on soil for growing crops and trees. As you know, students, soil is much important for us. So we depend on soil to grow the crops, to grow the plants, to grow the trees, to build house. For everything you can say, we depend on soil. The soil may be defined as the relatively loose materials on the earth's surface, consisting of fine rock particles and organic matter. The soil is formed very slowly. It may take thousands of years for the formation of a layer of soil a few centimeters thick. Now, definition of soil is the relatively loose materials on the earth's surface consisting of fine rock particles and organic matter. That is called soil. Okay, and soil formation is very slow. It may take thousands of years for the formation of a layer of soil a few centimeters thick. Student, now in this paragraph we will read soil formation. How soil form. The first step in the process of soil formation is weathering. Weathering, what is it, student? Breaking up rocks. That is called weathering. I told you, weathering breaks up rocks into smaller and still smaller pieces until they turn into fine powder. Okay. Rock particles are also brought to and deposited at a place by the agents of erosion. That also you have read, weathering and erosion. Erosion means wearing away of rock material. So, by breaking up rocks, that rock material transported at another place, deposited at a place by the agent of erosion. The rock material mixes with organic matter derived from living or dead organisms. Humus is an organic substance derived from partly decomposed plants and animal remains in the soil. It makes the soil fertile. Whatever rock species is there, that is changed into fine powder. In that rock material mixes with. Now, student, we are talking about humus. What is humus? Fine vegetable and animal remains called humus that is used to increase the fertility of the soil. Okay, now conservation of soil. So conservation means protecting something from getting destroyed so that it can be used by future generation. What is soil conservation of soil? Soil conservation, the protection of soil from physical as well as chemical deterioration is called soil conservation. Okay, it includes all those measures that can protect the soil from erosion and fertility exhaustion. Farmers across the world use different. As you know, the roots of trees and plants bind the soil and protect it from erosion by wind and water. But when we cut down too many trees or allow our cattle to overgraze the land, so we destroy vegetation. Okay. So thus we expose the soil to the action of wind and water and increase the risk of soil erosion. Now, soil conservation has become an important issue all over the world. To protect fertile lands from overgrazing, efforts are being made to develop grazing lands on wasteland. Now students, government takes action to use the wasteland as a grazing land. Efforts are also being made to stop the reckless felling of trees. Reckless means student, governments also efforts to stop the tremendous cutting of trees, but trees do need to be cut down for various purposes, like making furniture, for building the houses, um, for many things. As a fuel we have to use the tree, so saplings have to be planted to replace them. Then instead of that, saplings have to be planted, means more and more plants, trees should be plants. Then we can conserve the soil as well as plants also, vegetation also. Okay, now your chapter is over students. You have to complete your work from Paramath. Thank you and have a nice day.